3, which is the Anna Klonowski report. Agenda item 3. Do you want to say anything first, Jim?
Yeah, if I can make a few introductory comments. When the EPA report is published, I'm in the statement that I believe that the report's findings represent the most significant challenge that Council faced. At the same time, I stated that I fully accept the findings of the report and apologise to anyone who's been affected. I also said I was putting on record my personal flight that I take responsibility for ensuring that the improvements needed to be district governments were made. This report details the Council's action plan that will take forward the recommendations made in the Anna Klonowski Associated report, which will present to Cabinet. It comprises some 40 recommendations and identifies the officers that will be responsible for implementing these recommendations. As I already said, I would personally receive that process. Chair, I'll stop there. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay, question then, Jim, to you. It seems in recent days that the emphasis of public interest and speculation has led to it being a report that is directly critical of elected members at the heart of the report. Now, having read the report, that's not my impression of it. Can you give us a statement on what your impression of why the agenda will shift to issues in and around elected members specifically?
Okay, Chair. Well, the AKA report did not criticise any individual member. It identified officer failings, and as the head of the state service, I would like to again put in record that I take full responsibility for ensuring that all the recommendations within the report we're considering this evening are effectively implemented. And it's my job to ensure that all council officers in the future deliver in the manner which members and residents will expect from themselves.
Okay. Sergis, an issue that has surfaced as well, and a couple of people have mentioned it to me. Can you explain the final report that came out and that was circulated in the public domain? Was it in, I always get this word mixed up, but it was in a redacted form. There's been some criticism of that, and it has, I have to be genuinely honest, it has made it more difficult for individuals to follow the report in terms of trying to read through what is a weighty document. Can you explain to me why that is the situation? Because I haven't challenged you on that yet, but I just need to know why the criticism comes.
Yes, thank you, Chair. The reasons for reduction is because of the failings that have been identified and the need for the organisation to consider the issues that have been identified and raised, particularly against named individuals, and therefore due processes to be followed in relation to those matters. It would not be appropriate at this point in time for the full Dublin report to be made available when matters will be progressed in different ways. And that is to ensure that the council is protected appropriately and the due process can be followed correctly.
Okay. Can I just say that I have no problem with it not being in full open form, but I always, as I'm encouraged to do with the Local Government Guidance Act, Local Government Act, is to take due note of legal advice when it comes forward. And I think that issue may well be challenged at various stages. So I just raised that as an issue. It's an issue we're going to raise tomorrow in another forum, the Improvement Board forum. So I think that's an issue that needs to be raised. The other issue that when I was talking to you about this action plan coming forward was that we were going to have a report. Is it in the report on the financial costs so far and resources that have gone into the AKA report? The last register it clocked up at £250,000. Is there any further updates on the ongoing costs of that?
So, Chair, I'm in a position to update the costs.
Moving. Sorry, Jeff.
You asked a question of Sergis about why it was redacted. Yeah. I couldn't hear it. I genuinely couldn't hear his reply.
Oh, did not have the microphone. Okay.
So that better?
Yes.
The reason for why the redaction is necessary is because there are a number of issues that have been raised in the report relating to individuals, and the due process needs to be followed in relation to the matters that have been raised, and it's important that the opportunity is afforded for that process to be followed, given the matters that have been raised in particular against individuals.
Okay. And if you hear my reply is I will be asking the improved report tomorrow if that is the right advice that we've been given, and should it be unredacted if that's such a word. Because I do think it makes it difficult for individual members to follow. However, one of the outstanding issues is one of possible further disciplinary issues, I believe, and you know, I can understand the cautiousness of our legal department and the author of the report who we can pose questions to when we get the chance to. The issue about the money, if anyone got the running total.
I haven't got a running total of the Chair, but I can state that the payments made to AKA are within the current approval. However, the costs incurred by DLA Piper, which we are being recharged, I understand those are now in excess of the figure we originally sought council approval for, and therefore we will be coming back for when we've got final balances from them, what the total cost will be. The reason for this is entirely due to the extent of the right to reply process, which proved to be particularly lengthy, involving a number of companies that were involved in the right to reply. So there are some additional costs which we will be coming back to when we get them all together.
Okay. Again, within the public domain, have been rather serious allegations within the report about abuse, including alleged rape, the issue around which is over referred to the baseball bat. Can anyone give Cabinet an update of where we're up to in terms of those links to police and corroboration of those issues? My alarm about this is that statements have been made within the report without any corroboration, yet we've seen only at this point in time to be actually referring to the police. If these were made even during the report at any time, I would have expected them to have been followed up. And, although I can't speak for on behalf of previous individuals, I did ask the incumbent director that if there were any issues of serious nature within the report that could be acted on immediately, they should be. However, I think the issue about cooperation and where we are, and I think that really needs to be as much in public as where we are, because that concerns me as much as any individual and the public as well. And as, if you like, raise the profile of the report from what was considered in its earliest days an issue of overcharging to a more serious level. I think that's something that we need to have an update on here and now. I think, Greg, that's possible.
Thank you, Chair. In relation to issues raised in the report that have highlighted safeguarding issues, in particular those of alleged allegations in terms of serious offences, we're working very closely with the police. We need to establish date, place, time and people involved if that's not clear from the report. So in partnership with the police, we are seeking to interview the people that made the allegations to Ms. Klonowski, and following that we'll be able to work out with the police what specific actions need to be taken, if any.
And you...
Can I just clarify with you, Graham, that it's actually the local authority that are interviewing the sources of these allegations, and that if there is a case to answer, then obviously the police will be there, and obviously it will go on from there. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct. We, under the safeguarding duties that we have, we need to take lead responsibility. The police will only take matters further forward if there's a clear criminal offence that has taken place that hasn't already been investigated. What's not clear at this point in time is whether these events have been previously investigated or not.
Okay. So, I mean, clearly the report in its commissioning and the length of time that's gone on before the final report has come out. The question that keeps running through my mind is if these allegations, whether they're true or not, that the seriousness of the allegations should have prompted action at the most immediate step, which was when that was reported, and perhaps foolishly or again without proper advice didn't realise that they hadn't been acted as soon as that comment was made. I would have thought, you know, someone come up to me and made such an allegation, my first thought would be to go straight to the police or the safeguarding officer, but it would appear that the process has somehow allowed time lapse, which always makes, as I understood it, from watching TV, that the longer crime goes uninvestigated, the more difficult it is to get to the root cause. So I am concerned that immediately that those statements were made, that action should have been taken. But I've not been privy to what's gone on during the investigation, only to the final report. Perhaps, again, in hindsight, I should have challenged more the incumbent director that these actions were being followed up. But they are taking the case to a more serious level. Not that it isn't serious enough in its own right, but that is I think is what the public are genuinely concerned about when you see words such as rape and, you know, threatening from baseball bats and that sort of thing, and that really generally is concerned to all.
I don't want to prolong this. Graham, I realise that you're very new in post, so you won't have a personal memory. But can we put our finger on the points at which we knew about these things? Who knew about them and when did they know? And why was nothing done immediately we knew about them?
Chair, I think Graham clearly wasn't supposed to that point. The people who would have known about them were the officers and members who had the copy of the report. Yeah. I can't remember the precise date that we got the draft. I couldn't get me that date. Certainly, Harold did look at a whole range of issues, but I think perhaps I need to have a more concerted conversation with the
Well, I mean, to be fair, the date would go back even further than the publication of the report. Someone will have said those words to the person who was given the job of investigating on our behalf, and to think that was sat on or not reported to anyone during that period of time, possibly led me, as the new administration coming in and receiving that commission report, to assume that, you know, something would have been done, and the instruction given to the incumbent director that any actions that need to be taken should be taken now rather than wait for final outcome, particularly those of a serious nature. But however, we are where we are with the report, and I think we just need to clarify some of those points. Moving on, anyway. What we have got is the action plan. I'm not going to be pompous enough to say that this is the perfect action plan, because, as you know, attached to this report is the plea to establish what we are calling the improvement board. This idea began to flourish through conversations I was having with my particular mentor and other people in and around the LGA. Again, the first meeting of the improvement board will take place on Friday, so we are submitting this action plan, and all members of the improvement board have got a copy now of the APA report. We're going to ask whether this is up to measure, whether this is a good enough action plan. So we're not just taking it on board as a cabinet that it is. We're going to get some external scrutiny on that. We will also be submitting to the improvement board, when it ever arrives, the history report, and obviously the associated action plan. Hopefully with that, we'll have external scrutiny and what recommendations they make. So, whilst approving this, I am ready and willing to take on board any recommendations that are made by the improvement board. Just one point I would like to say, I have considered